The disease is born. In the 1930s, in a room smelling of carbolic soap, old cigarettes and human regret, Dr. Silkworth leaned over Bill Wilson with the grave tenderness of a man who had seen too many fellows come in wearing the same hat of doom. "Bill," said the doctor, "you are not merely fond of drink. Fondness is what a man has for ham sandwiches or a decent chair. You have, I believe, an allergy." Bill looked at him as if the doctor had accused him of being allergic to gravity. "An allergy?" "Yes," said Silkworth. "Once alcohol enters you, it sets off a bodily craving. But before that, there is a mental obsession. The mind tells you the first drink will be different this time. The body then makes sure it is not." Bill scratched his head. "So I am being betrayed by myself?" "Precisely," said Silkworth, "a very intimate treachery." Years later, in a library that had more dust than oxygen, Bill paced before Dr. Bob, who sat at a table with papers, coffee cups, and the concentrated misery of authorship. The room was lined with books which looked as if they had never been opened except by men seeking arguments. "We need the doctor's opinion. Give it its own chapter," said Bill. Bob dipped his pen. "The doctor's opinion. Yes, the Silkworth's bit. Allergy, obsession, the peculiar constitution of the alcoholic." Bob wrote slowly. He had the look of a man building a bridge during a flood. Bill continued pacing. "But it is not only physical. Jung said something too, Carl Jung. He said, about a friend of mine, Roland, that his problem was spiritual, that his thirst for alcohol was, in some way, like a thirst for wholeness, for unity with God. That must not be misunderstood." Bob stopped writing. "What do you mean, spiritual problem?" "I mean," said Bill, "not church going, not hymn singing, not holy faces and clean collars. I mean the man is broken. He's broken from the centre outward. He wants to be joined to something, but he keeps joining himself to whiskey. He wants God and he gets gin. He wants wholeness and he gets ruin." Bob nodded. "So alcoholism is..." Bill raised a finger, pleased with the architecture of it. "Part spiritual problem, part physical abnormality, part psychological compulsion." Bob stared at the page. "That's a hell of a sentence." "It is," said Bill. "Put it in plain English and they'll accuse us of founding a religion. Put it in medical language and they'll accuse us of founding a hospital. Put it in both and perhaps they'll buy the book. Decades pass as decades have a habit of doing when nobody is watching them properly. The book became old, then famous, then blue, then nearly sacred. Men who had once hidden bottles in toilets were now chairing meetings and explaining humility with the confidence of emperors." And Bill sat in his house, older now, with the AA members in the parlour. There were cups of coffee everywhere, for coffee had become the official sacrament of men who had renounced worse sacraments. And then the telephone rang. "Bill," said a smooth voice. "This is the drinks industry speaking." "What? The whole thing?" "Yeah, more or less. Listen, we don't want a war. We like AA. AA is useful. You say some people can't drink. That's fine. We say most people can. Beautiful arrangement. Alcohol is magnificent for birthdays, weddings, wars, elections, funerals, and business lunches. But for a certain unfortunate type, it's disease, right? Tragic, medical, not our fault." Bill was silent. The voice continued. "Scratch my back, Bill. We'll scratch yours by not treating you like fanatics." Bill looked at the framed photographs, the letters, the tired faces in the room. "I hear you," he said. "Diseases for the few, champagne for the many." "Exactly," said the voice. "Civilization itself." Another year, another ring. This time it was a doctor from a treatment centre, with carpets too clean to be spiritual. "Bill," said the doctor, "we need the disease model." "What? For what?" "Insurance. Insurance. If it is a sin, they won't pay. If it is weakness, they won't pay. If it is a bad habit, they won't pay. But disease, yes, disease has a billing code. Disease has a bed. Disease has 30 days and a discharge plan. And the patient, the patient receives treatment. And the institution receives payment. Scratch my back, Bill. Bill sighed. Jesus, you fellas have awful itchy backs. And now we arrive at today, where the disease has become a sort of invisible gorilla, doing press-ups in the corner of every meeting. A man cannot merely say he had troubles with drugs, with drink, with despair, loneliness, childhood, boredom, God, women, money, or just the private circus of his own skull. No, he must stand and name himself correctly. My name is such and such, and I'm an addict. The room relaxes. The password has been spoken. And then comes the disease, that shadowy landlord of the soul. It is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It is patient. It is athletic, and apparently doing burpees while the sufferer sleeps. Question it and eyebrows raise. Doubt it and chairs creak. Suggest that a human being might be more than a diagnosis, and you may feel the chill reserved for hearsay. There is comfort in it, of course. A man drowning in shame may need to hear he is not evil. A woman ruined by compulsion may need to know she is not uniquely rotten. But when the metaphor hardens into law, it can shrink the person. The member becomes a permanent patient of the fellowship, carrying an identity that must be renewed aloud at every meeting, like a passport stamped by fear. And so the old idea, once useful, walks around in modern clothes. Allergy, obsession, spirit, commerce, insurance, belonging, control. They're all stirred together in the same pot. A strange stew, but nobody dares call it stew. They call it recovery.